Welcome to the Dragon's Library, your source for games, movies, shows, and more. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dragon's Library. So today we are talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the second best multiversal piece of media I've watched this past week. I know, second best. It's really harsh, I know. But Everything Everywhere All the Time, which I'm going to review, I swear, I have in my schedule now, was better. It was. I'm hoping that'll come back out on streaming before I have to review it. If I sound a little hoarse right now, my throat's a little sore, my head is pounding, so if I seem a bit off in this, I do apologize. I'm currently recording this on Friday instead of on Thursday like I usually do. So for my podcast listeners, this is why it didn't come out at 8 a.m. on Friday. It's going to be coming out at about 10 p.m. because I got back from work and I had to go out. I went out and ate with someone, so all in all, I'm just tired. I went and saw this really late last night and just did not have the energy to review it right when I got back. But yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a main Marvel movie. Like, those are usually pretty good. I will say it's probably better than the original Doctor Strange. Yeah, I like it more than that one. I think it's just a fun movie. I think the original Doctor Strange was a pretty good origin movie, one of the better Marvel origin movies. Not like Iron Man or Captain America good, but better than Thor, better than the Hulk's weird Universal movie. Not better than the Guardians, I guess. Those are really the hard ones, aren't they? The Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and the Guardians movies are like the hard. Those are like the big origin movies that did really well. And Doctor Strange just couldn't measure up to those. But, yeah. So, it's been 4 years since the first Doctor Strange movie. No, wait, did that came in? No, it came out in 2016. Oh my god, it's been 6 years. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. But, it's because he's making all these cameos. I guess I should get to the point. Okay. So, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is the 28th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, we're up to 28 now. That's not including the TV shows and streaming shows and the miniseries. Oh my, oh my. Now, before I talk about this movie, I need to address the elephant in the room. Yes, from the promotional material, anyone who's even seen the poster or heard about the movie has already figured out, yes, Wanda Maximov is in this movie. Now, this usually would not be a problem. Guest appearances are no big deal. But, I don't need to tell everyone who really likes these movies, and everyone who doesn't like these movies is probably not going to go see it because it's part 28 in a movie series. You're not just going to go see, and the sequel to another movie in the series and some other stuff. So you're not just going to go see this on a whim. You're going to go see this because you want to see the Marvel stuff. But I do need to reiterate it. If you have not seen WandaVision yet, you should probably see that first. I would also recommend seeing, you definitely need to see Spider-Man No Way Home, I think. I would recommend seeing, obviously, Infinity War and Endgame are actually definitely important to this because things that happen in those movies are important to Strange's arc and a lot of the problems in this movie, along with the Spider-Man thing and WandaVision. Those four movies along with Strange's origin movie, which means it's kind of like 5 things, set up what is the main overarching plot line of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So, go see all those if you have not already. I know some people have not seen WandaVision yet. I know some people who have not seen WandaVision and want to see this. Yes, you need to see WandaVision first. Sorry, you just do. This is an interconnected universe now, and they're really leaning hard into that. You gotta watch their streaming shows before you'll understand what the hell's going on. Aside from that, yeah, this is a good movie. I'd probably recommend go see it if you don't want to take anything else away from this. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, we're going to move into now that I've given you a brief overview, let's give you a plot summary. But before I do that, I will let you know if you want to go in completely blind and you've somehow managed to make spoilers. I actually managed to dodge almost all the leaks. I found out one little fact, but I didn't know for sure any of the details around it. So I actually managed to avoid spoilers for this. If you, like me, have managed to avoid spoilers, good for you. We're pretty lucky, huh? So, if you want to go into this completely blind, I'd actually recommend it. It was very enjoyable to go into this blind. I have my theories about it, and I knew one little detail, like we were going to run to the Illuminati, and I'm saying that because it's pretty highly known, and even people who avoided spoilers probably haven't avoided that fact. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can still go into this entirely blind. I haven't really given you details on what that is, so go from there. But, yeah, I'd recommend you Go watch it, come back. Yes, I recommend it. I'm going to go and give you my grade of an 8 out of 10 right off the bat. So I'll go into why that is. But yes, I think this is a movie that benefits from going to blind. You'll get a lot more fun out of some of the things in it. I also think it's just a fun movie and kind of a little weird to be spoiled. Plus, there are a few twists that, yeah, they resolve really quickly, and I'm going to have to talk about my review for the level of plot. So go check them out. It'll be fun. Anyway, let's get into this. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is essentially about the fallout of both Infinity War and WandaVision, as well as Doctor Strange. So, in the original Doctor Strange, he had that girlfriend nurse. Their relationship did not work out because he's been gone for 5 years, and it just doesn't work out. They just weren't good for each other. They were good friends still. Doctor Strange is no longer Sorcerer Supreme, and he, is trying to go about his day. His, old girlfriend is getting married. He's constantly asked, hey, you happy, man? I mean, you're a famous hero. And he's feeling a lot of regret over his decisions to, subconsciously, likely from Spider-Man, because he just got through all that. Although he doesn't consciously remember that, there's probably still a part of him that's like, I feel like I've made some error even greater than the others. I feel like this all feels way worse than it should. So I'm willing to bet there's still some guilt there, magically or subconsciously. But on the surface, it's because, he was the one who gave Thanos the Time Stone in Infinity War. Now, he did this because he looked through all the futures he could in that time and only found one where they survived, one where they were able to save the universe. And that was the one where he handed over, in that timeline, he handed over peacefully. So he did this in order to prevent, in order to allow everything to happen correctly. However, there are plenty of people who see him giving up the stone as, you let Thanos win. You're the reason so many people were dead for 5 years. Obviously, he's no longer Sorcerer Supreme for that. He's feeling a little bitter towards Wong, I get across. He just feels burnt out, he feels like he's done everything he could, but at the same time, he feels like a failure. And then, all of a sudden, a girl appears out of nowhere being chased by monsters, claiming to be a interdimensional traveler and a unique being in the multiverse, i.e. she's only been in one universe and she's never found any counterparts of herself, and she has the ability to travel between universes, but she can't control it. She's being hunted by a demon, and it killed an alternate version of Strange that tried to help her. So, the few of them realize pretty quickly that the monsters have, runic witch magic, and the sorcerers don't really use that type of magic. However, they happen to know about a recent witch, and I'm warning you right now. Warning. WandaVision spoilers incoming. This is necessary for the review. They go to try and get Wanda's help, and Strange immediately realizes she has been possessed by the Darkhold. She's been completely corrupted by it, and she's actually been hunting Chavaz by summoning demons into other realities so that they could bring Chavaz to Wanda in order for Wanda to drain her power, travel the multiverse, and find her children. Or a world where her children exist. Yes, it's creepy. They admit that. So, it's Doctor Strange and the sorcerers had to protect Chavaz against Wanda. They end up spiraling into other realities, and Wanda uses the power of the Darkhold to possess other versions of herself to hunt them down across those realities. And yeah, that's the base of the plot. Wanda's gone full, I must find my children in another reality. The usual multiversal plot. I say that because it is, it's kind of happened in both the recent multiverse things I've heard. Because I have to say this. Spider-Verse had the Kingpin try to do it, and it sort of happened with Boot Choi in, or Boto Chulam, or whatever you call it. The movie makes a joke about how that name is really annoying to remember. In Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, I guess this is just the standard multiversal plot. I lost my family here, or I don't have someone, so I'm going to travel the multiverse to find them. It's come on, guys. There are other multiversal reasons to travel the multiverse, okay? But, anyway, this is a really cool movie. I like it. From a technical level, very impressive. I really think the Doctor Strange movies have earned a reputation for just wonderful visuals. I've always heard, and I've seen a few panels of the Doctor Strange comics, and they always have this real psychedelic, amazing, crazy visuals thing, and the movies, to their credit, do a good job of translating that. You get these weird scenes where they're falling to a universe, which, yes, is basically Gravity Falls, alternate reality bubbles. We've seen this thing before, but it's still cool, and they do really interesting things with it. They go to a world where everything's made of paint, and it's just the visuals are beautiful. They have a battle where Doctor Strange battles another version of himself using literal music notes. Like he literally rips them off a page with magic, and they're literally the concept of music battling against each other. It is such a cool fight. I've never seen a musical battle taken so literally. It's beautiful. You've also got other weird things, like one of the realities they go into, Doctor Strange nearly walks into traffic because the light turns green. But in this reality, red is go and green is stop. And I love how Chavaz is like, dude, I've been to like 70 realities at this point. The one consistent thing is you know nothing whenever you enter a new reality. Every rule you hold as sacred is most of them are probably not true here. And I just love that. That was just, perfect. Love it. So yeah, it's a very creative visuals, lots of fun stuff here. I like how they don't really try and make this, a continuation movie, really. It feels like it's a continuation of WandaVision, but this really feels like a self-contained adventure for Doctor Strange. It's like Wanda's gone a little insane, Chavaz comes to him, hey, we gotta solve this problem, let's go off on this crazy adventure. It feels very comic booky, and I like that. It doesn't have to be this major epic thing with a lot of other characters and interactions. Just like, nope, these are the consequences of this, and this. Let's write a story about it. Bam. And I don't really think there are that many, it really just set up Doctor Strange as the guy people go to for magic trouble. Which I like. I like how he just has, people come to him with a problem, he solves that problem. Or he tries to, but gets into a lot of trouble in the meantime and has to go on an adventure, usually with a sidekick, because Doctor Strange, seems to work best as a character when he's working off someone else. So having some people constantly going to him for trouble, since he's literally Sorcerer Supreme, or pseudo-Sorcerer Supreme, I guess, or former Sorcerer Supreme, whatever his title is now. People coming to him for magical assistance makes sense. And I just like that story format. I think it was fun. The actors in this are all pretty good. Obviously, Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. Great in this. Fantastic. Elizabeth Olsen is Wanda Maximov. She is wonderful. I've always really liked Wanda in these movies. And quite frankly, she's just, holy shit, she can be terrifying. This movie can get scary. I'm going to get to that in a little while, but we've got Chiwetel Ejiofor as Carl Mordo, an alternate version of him at least. We got Benedict Wong as Wong, because Wong is awesome. Seriously, Wong is great. He's fun in this. We got Jyoti Gomez as American Chavaz. She's really cool. Want to see her in more stuff. Can't wait for her to get her own Disney Plus series. We don't do Netflix series anymore. We have Rachel McAdams as Christine Palmer. She actually plays two different versions of as Christine, and she actually gets some development in these movies. I barely remember her from the first movie. She showed up in the beginning and then the final climax when the ancient one died. And it was just kind of meh, I don't really care about you. They actually did make me kind of care about her character, and I'm going to remember her because she's one of the more interesting level interests from Marvel movies, just because she got development. Her and Strange actually talk about why the relationship didn't work. It's look, you're the kind of person that needs to always be holding the knife. And that's great. That works for you. But I can't be in a relationship like that. I need to be able to make choices and decisions. I need you to be able to respect those decisions. And I just couldn't have that happening there. She felt like she basically was never in control at all. And Doctor Strange always had to be. And yeah, even it's I can understand. And when you talk to an alternate version, they talk about why their relationship did not work, why it fell apart. This is as opposed to things like Thor, where it's just I heard you got dumped. It's yeah, well, it was a mutual dumping. Or the Black Widow thing, where it's just never mentioned. They don't even talk about why they never went together. It's just a joke of, oh yeah, remember that time we thought we had a chance to each other? Yeah, that was funny. It's come on, give us a reason. If you're going to set up a relationship, at least tell us why it fails. I'm not a huge fan of romances in general in fiction. I think it is an overplayed part of fiction. I think most stories try and jam a romance into a story, even if it does not need one, because it's gone to the point where our society expects romances to be in every story. And, alright, look, I need to take a side for this, because I keep mentioning it all the time, but the way we jam romance into every goddamn piece of fiction is really weird if you actually put this cultural thing aside and actually think about it. There's no other genre we mash into every other genre. All stories. think about it. Can you think of the number of stories you have had a main character, as in a main human character, and that character has not had a love interest? Heck, even when they're not a main human or a main character or anything, you always have like a core love interest, and it's so annoying as someone who doesn't understand romantic attraction to people on a sexual level. I don't get that. I don't. And it's frustrating because I always feel taken out of the story. I can see what good examples of it. I get that. But when you don't get that, when you don't get those feelings in general at all, it's really annoying when it's done badly. And every time a love interest thing popped up in Marvel movies, I'm always just like, oh my god, get over it already. Move on to the interesting thing. I just did not care. The only couple I've actually been weirdly interested in is Wanda and Vision. And that's only because that was actually really interesting on a philosophical level, like can a robot love, and Vision questioning his own humanity and the whole mind control stuff in WandaVision. Like, they made that interesting because it was baked into the core premise of the show. The problem I have with most romances is it feels like the show could work. Like, basically, most pieces of media could work with the love interest removed, and so it's like, why is it even there? I applaud Pacific Rim for having the main character be like, oh yeah, we're just friends. We're really good friends who can mind lead together, but it's not romantic at all. We don't really kiss at the end or anything. It's just, we're just friends. We get each other. It's like, okay, that I can get behind, I just don't see how it gets to immediately, like, you're just like, oh, now I'm deeply in love with you. It's like, dude, what the hell? It's been like a day. Sorry, that's been bubbling under me for years, and I had to get on my system. Partially because this finally just shows me, it's like, yeah, you can break characters up well, apparently. I didn't know you could do that. I thought they just had to stop talking to each other, and suddenly everybody understands they're not dating. Whatever. But, no, I actually liked the way they did this. They explained, like, why they didn't work as a couple, and it's like, yeah, we just weren't right for each other, Strange. It's like, yeah, I want it to work, but no, you're right in the end. It's, you know what? Good. Good on this story for doing it well. And they tie her relationship with him into his overarching character arc in this story, which is about helping to teach others, to become a good role model, to let go of that which didn't work, and to not obsessively follow your own path to the exclusion of all else. Which is, it's good. I like that they did that, and I like that it serves a purpose. It's not just here because it's here. It also seems like they had to deal with the idea of, yeah, is that relationship still going? Because we really never heard anything about her after that first movie. Wow, this went on a little bit longer than I needed to. But, okay, so, on to the rest of this. Script is good, like I said. Good story, overarching characters are done well. Really interesting designs, creative movie. 8 out of 10. Solid Marvel movie. One of their better material. Not like A game, but definitely B game. And I'm grading this on the Marvel curve, so like a D for Marvel is usually like a C plus for everyone else, because Marvel has a very high low bar. Like when your low bars are Thor, it's depressing that Thor and Thor 2 are the Marvel's low bar. Not because they're bad movies. Thor the Dark World is just kind of boring. But like, when your worst movies are just kind of boring, it just makes the rest of the industry look bad, honestly. And I get it, Marvel movies are a bit formulaic, but you know what? I still like them. I still think they're doing interesting things. And yeah, 8 out of 10. Would definitely recommend. Especially if you're a Marvel fan. I do have to stress this. You do have to watch a lot of other stuff to this. So there is a bit of an asterisk there. Yeah, 8 out of 10. If you've been paying attention to the whole Marvel universe, have watched WandaVision on Disney Plus, and remember what happened in Infinity War, Endgame, and No Way Home. So, that's the review. Moving on to the spoiler section. Warning, there are massive spoilers about cameos and lots of lore things. So if you don't want that, get out of here. I'm not going to tell you twice. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Where to start? All right, let's just start from the beginning. We got American Chavaz running away with the other version of Doctor Strange. She's got weird powers. So apparently her thing, and I had to look this up because I've never heard of American Chavaz before this movie. Well, more specifically before the film theory that theorized she was going to be in this was correct, because I watched MatPat, obviously. Don't think that's a weird thing. She has, people not jealous at all. But, American Chavaz is apparently a Marvel hero. She's a unique being in the multiverse, i.e. she's the only one of her counterparts. She doesn't have any counterparts. She's just a singular person who can travel the multiverse. She originated from a world of all women, and she has the ability to punch through reality. She's also has 2 moms, so if you are looking for the representation, yeah, they have them. Apparently her quest, once she finishes mastering her powers, is going to be to search the multiverse for her moms. So that would actually be a really cool thing to go watch a series about. Hint, hint, Disney says. It's very clear they're sending her off to be like a Marvel Plus show along with Miss Marvel or whatever. Which I think is fine. She's definitely a character I want to see more of. She's a lot of fun. She comes off as both as experienced when it comes to exploring the multiverse, but still very uncertain and a little scared of her own abilities, which I like, because it has this good sense of, yeah, she's gotten used to randomly being flung across the multiverse, but she's still not exactly used to her powers, per se. Because they're so random and uncontrollable, and she kind of lost her parents in the multiverse. That makes sense. Moving on from that, we have Doctor Strange playing like 4 different versions of himself across this movie. You got the initial Doctor Strange, who is basically like the Doctor Strange who made some of the better choices. He has a little bit more of a controlled white magic to him. When I say white, I mean like the runes aren't orange. They're like this bluish white color. Which looked a little bit different. I guess it's visually distinct. So him and Chavez trying to defeat this demon Wanda summoned to hunt her down, and she, manages to escape after Strange tries to kill her because it's better he absorb her powers and them die with him than Wanda get a hold of her and absorb the powers anyway. So, it's like, look, one of us has to take your powers. It has to be me because this thing, we cannot let it loose in the multiverse. It's basically the utilitarian approach to moral ethics, which is the most good for the most people. So sacrificing one person who can travel the multiverse because their power would be abused by others who would steal it, as opposed to allowing that person to live and potentially allowing great evil to be unleashed across the multiverse, is basically the mathematically moral position. That's what utilitarians believe. As long as the math evens out. So if you kill 3 people to save 100, you've saved 100 people, you've done the greatest good. Now you should avoid doing harm, but when you have 2 choices, either you don't kill this one person and hundreds of thousands die, or you kill one person to prevent those hundreds of thousands from dying, that's just how it views, and that's how Strange has always been. That's why he was willing to let himself get dusted. That's why he gave him Thanos the Time Stone. This is a very well-established part of Strange, but ever since, all that stuff happened, he's had to look at the consequences of this action. Yes, everybody came back, but people have lost years, people have suffered, people have died. Other people aged and died, so some people came back into reality to find their family gone. Loved ones dead, believing they had died. Like, that's hard. And yeah, it's just the way it's happening now. But, R. Strange is feeling a little bit glum about that, the whole Spider-Man thing, although it's unclear how much he remembers from that. Or at all. It's definitely affecting him, though. He goes to the wedding, for his old ex, Christine. Actually, they do this really interesting with the wedding. The new man she's marrying is not like an asshole or anything. He's actually like a Strange fan. And his wife, and she's like, look, I know it's a little weird, but we are friends, and my husband's actually a big fan of yours, so would you mind talking to him? And Strange's like, oh, yeah, I guess I can, for you. I mean, I was gonna leave, but, monster attack, gotta go. He's like, oh, thank God. You get the feeling that, like, he was just like, I do not want to meet her husband. I'm sorry, I'm still bitter deep down. I'm trying to be happy for her on her big day, but I really don't want to ruin this. So I very much like that dynamic of, God damn it, I don't want to do this, but I gotta keep smiling because I don't want to ruin it for everyone else. And he's just like, monster attack, gotta go, bye. And I love how the husband is like, oh my God, yeah, that's so cool. And Christina's like, oh God, it's like, it's happening today. Does there have to be a monster attack at my wedding? And you just get the feeling that everyone in the Marvel Universe now, like, remember a few years ago where it was really weird that Tony Stark built an Iron Man suit and started flying, and people were like, what the hell is the world coming to? Is a man flying in a robot suit? And now they're like, there's a giant invisible squid monster attacking downtown. Oh, so we gotta take the long way around to get to work. Joy, I'm gonna be late. Ugh. You just get the feeling of like, yeah, this is normal now. Giant interdimensional invisible squid monster attacks, and it's just another Monday. No, he's like, I cannot get over just how casually everyone at the wedding is just like, oh, it's like a famous firefighter coming to put out a rate of fire. It's like everyone else, well, a lot of people are just trying to get away from there, but there are some people just snapping like paparazzi. It's just like, guys, what the hell? I mean, I guess they've had like 4 alien invasions at this point, so, desensitized, but still. It's just funny. I find that really funny, and I like this is the kind of world we can just accept as normal after all the other movies. I mean, we've got like 5 bug-themed superheroes, which they actually bring up. It's really weird how Marvel has so many bug-themed superheroes. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Doctor Strange goes to fight this thing and finds it hunting down Chavez, who portaled away. The monster is actually invisible at first, which was really cool because we didn't see what it was. Doctor Strange uses a spell to make it visible. And it's like this, it's basically the octopus demon that everybody's been seeing in the what if things, and everybody's been like saying, ooh, this is gonna be like Cthulhu or whatever their version of Cthulhu is. Can't they just use Cthulhu? I thought they could just use Cthulhu. I thought like the weird Conan stuff is tied up with the H.P. Lovecraft property, and because of Disney owns Conan the Barbarian. By the way, do you know do you know Marvel, and by proxy Disney, owns Conan the Barbarian, and that Conan the Barbarian is tied up legally with the H.P. Lovecraft rights, and that when Marvel bought Conan, and Conan is in the Marvel universe, like the comics universe, they also own Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos. I just think that is so weird. Like, okay, so they bought Conan. That's cool. I guess, whatever. You can play around with Conan, Marvel. Like, just say he's from an alternate reality or another dimension or whatever. It's easy. It's comics. You can retcon this 1,000 different ways. But the Cthulhu mythos? How is the Cthulhu mythos in freaking Marvel? It's just so... Why is it attached to Conan? I'm so confused. I think it's because Lovecraft was, like, friends with one of the writers. I honestly... It's just so weird to me. And I had to bring that up. This movie is bringing up a lot of weird anecdotes for me. It's so much fun. Love it. Anyway, moving on from my Lovecraft obsession. Like his work, not the man's tone, he had issues. Very, very racist issues. I'm not going to defend that. It's gross. Does make you feel very uncomfortable when reading his work, which I guess is the intended message, but still. Anyway, moving on from that problem. We've got a giant squid monster. Oh, Lovecraft. You inspiration to horror. Seriously, Lovecraft, made tentacles mainstream. I hope you all understand this. So, yeah. We've got Doctor Strange finding a monster. He beats it up. They realize that the glowing runes on it were witch magic, so they need help figuring out what the demon that's been hunting Chavez is. So they go to find Wanda. And I kind of really like the scene with Wanda because it's very quick, but it's also very... It plays the scene better than I think most do. So basically, it's the whole, I've retired from all that, Dr. Steven. They send you after me. It's like, no, Wanda, I'm just here to get your help. You seem to be doing better for yourself. This almost looks real. It's like, it is real. I gave up my powers. I put that aside. I tried the dark hole, but it was only a rabbit hole. I didn't use it anymore. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm not here about Westview. It's like, we need your help. And he explains the situation. He doesn't say Chavez's name, and immediately Wanda's like, all right, well, I guess I can help you. We'll find out how to protect Miss America Chavez together. And then she just stops immediately. Doctor Strange just goes quiet, and she's like, you didn't say Chavez's name, did you? You didn't say America's name, did you? No, I did not. And she's like, I almost had that one. And I love how they don't even bother to draw this out. It's like, they don't give you creepy signs. It's very normal, and then all of a sudden she says Chavez's name, and you're like, oh shit. It was so quick and well done, that I didn't realize it until a second after the fact. I was almost with Wanda, following her along, and then she says Chavez's name. I'm like, okay, we'll go help America. She didn't say Chavez. And literally as I was thinking that, Wanda said it. And it was the only time I've ever seen a scene played like that, and that's happened to me. Usually I'm like, oh, she realized, there's always these cues to say that she knows way before, the person who's secretly actually been the evil villain the whole time actually knows. And the audience is just like, oh my god, how do you not see it? They keep smirking evilly or whatever. But Wanda's very normal. The scene's very quick up to that point. And it really does look like Wanda's just tired, and they have this whole thing where she gets out of bed, before Strange gets there, and it's like, it looks like she really has given up magic and is just trying to, do this, and it feels like Strange is going to draw her back into magic, and that's where things are going to go wrong. Because we know she was looking for her kids, and if she says she's put it all behind her, maybe she couldn't go to other dimensions, and then she saw Chavaz, and it's like, oh, my kids. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen. They're like, oh no, she's actually fully under the Darkhold's control. She didn't break free of it. And she waves her hand, and the beautiful field of wintertime apple trees turns into this barren wasteland, and it's really creepy. It's just like, and you can really tell this. Oh, director! I didn't even mention the director in my review. This is directed by Sam Raimi of Evil Dead fame. So yeah, we see some cool horror shots in this. This is. Oh, I should have given a warning in my review. I'll go back and edit that. Or no, I won't. No. But, I probably should have said, this is probably the scariest Marvel movie I have ever seen. That's not a high bar. Most of the other Marvel movies aren't really scary. But holy shit, that one scene with Wanda and Black Bolt. Oh god, that was like, if this whole movie had been that, this would be like rated R. If that whole movie had been the Illuminati scene, this would be R-rated. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway. Doctor Strange and Wong try and protect themselves against Wanda. And they usually have the thing where they pull up a whole energy field and, they use magic to create an energy field. And usually it's the whole thing where the overpowered character just blasts through. And Wanda keeps saying, I'm just trying to be reasonable, Mr. Strange. Just hand me the girl and no one else has to get her. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to see my kids. And you really do get the sense, there's always this thing where villains try and act like they're just trying to, do this with the least casualty possible. But then they jump to murder so quickly. Wanda does seem desperate. She seems obsessive about her kids consumed by the Darkhold. But she really does come across as someone who's actively trying to restrain herself. She keeps telling people, I have been trying so hard to do this nicely. I am trying to do this with the minimum casualties. I'm not a monster, Steven. I might be doing some horrible things, but I'm doing it for my children. I would do anything to see my boys again. Do not get in my way. I do not want to hurt you. She does come across as someone who doesn't want to hurt people, but is willing to, and will do so with great cruelty if she does. She doesn't want to, but if she has to, she will. And to her, she has to if you say no to her. Which I like. That's a hard balance to pull off. A lot of characters fail at that. I feel like they got it almost just right with Wanda. Maybe a little bit off, but because she goes a little too far sometimes, but she is being possessed by an evil book, so I'll give them a little leeway there. Moving on from that, they have the big energy field. All the sorcerers work together to create an energy field, and they actually have to, move the field with them around. There are hundreds of sorcerers working in tandem. And they actually managed to hold Wanda off, which is very impressive, seeing as she's a being at this point. She's become the Scarlet Witch at this point, which is a legendary being that can control realities. She can actually rewrite reality. So the fact the sorcerers actually managed to hold her off is oh wow, these are all fully trained sorcerers and the greatest magic users on the planet all gather in one place against her. It's yeah, of course she's going to be able to be blocked. However, although their physical magic is stronger than her, individually their minds are weaker, so she uses her telepathy and mental powers to break one of the weaker-willed sorcerers into running, causing a bit of chaos and creating a hole in the shield through which she enters, which is a lot more interesting than her just being too powerful to keep out. It's no, the sorcerers were keeping her out, but they couldn't keep her out mentally. They keep her out physically, but not mentally, and that's how she broke her, which makes her very clever as a villain. And I very much like that. In addition, also this whole scene where Strange traps her in the mirror dimension, and she starts attacking them through the mirror, and you have just random scenes of sorcerers being pulled underground after standing on a slightly shiny surface and vanishing. Sorcerers getting, completely devastated. Wanda is going full horror movie monster on these people. She even wrenches herself out of the mirror like she's the freaking little girl from The Ring. It's really, I gotta admit, they have did a great job of making Wanda come across as some demon-possessed lunatic, when it comes to her killings. She gets brutal in this movie. Wanda, oh my god, the thing she did to some people. Poor Black Bolt, jeez. Anyway, sorry. Moving on from that, Doctor Strange and Chavaz are taken to another universe. They find out in that universe, Doctor Strange, flee to another universe. Wanda pulls out a spell to dreamwalk to that universe, which is essentially she takes possession of another version of herself because all dreams are actually just memories of other versions of you in this reality. And yes, they do bring up the idea that all those weird dreams you have about running naked while a clown chases you are probably happening to some other version of yourself. It's also how Chavaz knows she doesn't have a counterpart because she never dreams. So, interesting little tidbit there. They go to this other world, which is the one with the whole red light, green light switcheroo thing. And they find out that Doctor Strange sacrificed his life to kill Thanos. There's a sort of different version. There are different heroes in this world, i.e. the Avengers aren't really quite the same. You have, I think it was Captain Marvel's best friend became Captain Marvel instead of Carol Danvers. You have the Fantastic Four exist. Reed Richards is in this movie. Yes, we have a Reed Richards now. The John Krasinski. I think he was the one who was in the old Fantastic Four, I think. Let's see. Let's see here. So he didn't play the old one. Okay, so this is his first time playing Mr. Fantastic. Oh, he was the guy who played he was the guy in A Quiet Place. Okay, wait, no. Oh, he directed and co-produced and wrote the sequel to A Quiet Place Part 2. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, that was actually really good. So I like him. He's pretty good in this movie. I really like him as Reed Richards. When Doctor Strange died, Mordo, who was actually Doctor Strange's friend, not his enemy in this universe, became Sorcerer Supreme. You've got the mutants exist in this universe, so we actually see Charles Xavier in a Marvel film. And yes, it is Patrick Stewart. He does a great job because Patrick Stewart is an amazing actor. Holy shit. I love him so much as an actor. I know. He's just so great. I don't watch a lot of Star Trek, but I have watched a decent amount of Star Trek Next Generation, and I do really like basically everything I see of him. Every time he shows up in a movie, he's just, bam, the best thing about it. I mean, jeez, every time. Well, almost every time. Look, Patrick Stewart, you're a great actor, but even you can't save the Emoji Movie. I'm sorry. That thing is corporate freaking trash. It is a dumpster fire in the process of melting. Ugh. But no, bad thoughts away. Anyhow, we get they're called the Illuminati. We also have Black Bolt of the Inhumans. Not the Inhumans from what is it? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I actually like their portrayal there, but this is a different Inhumans. This is the royal family Inhumans from Attilan. He's the guy who's the mute superhero, but because his voice can shatter mountains if he speaks a single word. So, they're like the Ultra Avengers. They're the Illuminati, the leaders of this new world after Thanos. They've led into utopia and they've guarded against multiversal threats. Because what happened was their version of Strange actually didn't defeat Thanos, it turns out. Not on his own and not entirely. See, they lied to the public because they needed a hero, but Strange got a hold of the Darkhold and started dreamwalking in order to seek a solution. Sort of like our Strange looking through different timelines with the Time Stone. What ended up happening, though, is they found out that when you mess with when you do too much messing around with different universes, you cause incursion events, which is basically when two realities are drawn close together and basically start attracting to each other and they collide, causing a cataclysmic accident. Meanwhile, Wanda possesses her counterpart and, is shocked by her children. It's like, I will be with you for real once I come here in truth, my darlings. And she goes off to get a hold of Chavaz, drain her powers. She has to stop midway through because one of the other sorcerers ended up destroying the Darkhold, but Wong takes her to the mountain where a demon carved the original spells that were transcribed into the Darkhold, where she finds out that she's prophesized to take Chavez's power and rule as a basically multiversal chaos god. Even though she keeps insisting that she's completely in control and just wants to go to her children and be able to travel the multiverse so she can find any ailment to their diseases. Basically, the reason she doesn't want to have Chavez take her to a universe where their children are alive is because she wants to be able to engage in multiversal travel to solve all the problems. Basically, anytime they get sick, she can travel to any world that she needs to find the cure. If they start getting old, she can travel to a world that can give them immortality, that kind of thing. Very much obsessive. I will never let them die ever again. They will be my little boys forever. She's gone full obsessive right now, which, after all the shit Wanda's been through, yeah. She had to kill her husband. She had to kill Vision again. That was just, she had to literally give up Paradise because she knew it was hurting other people. She had to unmake her kids. That's just sad. Doesn't excuse her murdering everyone, but, they recognize that by the end. Anyway, the Illuminati are obviously scared of Strange because they find that he tends to resort to whatever method he thinks is necessary, even if it might be dangerous to the detriment of others' advices. Once Strange revealed that he'd been traveling, he submitted to their judgment and allowed himself to be killed in order to prevent the Darkhold from getting a hold of a powerful sorcerer in this realm and causing chaos. He basically accepted the consequences of his actions, realized what was wrong, and they decided to memorialize him as the hero. They used the magic book they've been after to defeat Wanda, as the tool they used to beat Thanos instead of the whole, weird rat pushes a button and releases Ant-Man plot Strange used. I love that rat as a true hero. That rat from Endgame is the truest of all heroes. If he had not stepped on that button, then the world as we know it would not have continued. I love that thing. The rat saved the universe, everybody. I know, it's an old joke at this point. But, yeah. Moving on. The Illuminati is great. I love the cameos. I love that. All of them are cool. They all come across as though, Strange keeps telling them, look, you have to help us. We need that book. Wanda is coming. She's going to kill us all. It's like, Strange, we've dealt with Thanos. We dealt with you when you were evil. We've dealt with some weird shit. We've actually seen some other realities. We know we can handle Wanda Maximov, this Scarlet Witch of yours. And you know what? They're actually really capable. Reed Richards comes across in this for the first time ever as the smartest person in all of comics. He literally enters using a teleportation device like it's no big deal. Professor X is there as the world's greatest psychic and seems to actually understand everything. And unlike the others who are ready to persecute Strange, after it becomes clear things are turning against them, he's immediately Strange, if we fail, I'm telling you where the book is now, because if we fail, we're not going to be trying you and see if we need to deal with you. You need to get to that book immediately. And Mordo's like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, I'm making contingencies. I'm one of the smartest people and a telepath. I understand we're not in a good scenario right now, and I'm not sure I'll be able to take her. So, I need Strange to know what to do if we fail. If he don't fail, we should be able to contain him just fine. There's no risk to this. Don't be an idiot. And it's just like, damn, Professor X. Being prepared, being proactive. I love that. He also comes across as the more sympathetic one. He feels obvious guilt for having to order Strange's death. Black Bolt is the one who had killed him. And there's this moment where Professor X shows them Strange submitting to them after Thanos' defeat and accepting his fate. And it cuts from, Black Bolt saying, I'm sorry, and Strange literally being annihilated by the sheer force of the sound. And it literally cuts straight to Strange, in our Strange, looking at Black Bolt, and Black Bolt just looks at him like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to do it, but we had no choice. I cannot tell you how much I was surprised just looking at Black Bolt's face. He looks like he's about to start crying because Professor X made him relive that memory. He feels genuinely like somebody who's looking at the ghost of a friend and wondering, am I going to have to kill him again? And this time he hasn't even used the Darkhold yet, which makes it even worse. I actually got the sense that Black Bolt is start weeping, which is not something you see a lot with that character. Anyway, Captain Marvel is very gung-ho. Oh, we also have Captain Britain. Yeah, this is also the reality where, Captain Britain exists, which is awesome. I love it. She's back. That's Carter, Agent Carter, Steve's girlfriend, who also had a show of her own, was a really cool, kick-ass secret agent. One of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D. A big freaking deal. Well, in one reality, Steve got murdered by the Nazi spy, and she got the serum instead. Became Captain Britain, which is awesome. And obviously, Wanda attacks the facility, and the Illuminati go to fight her. At first, they're very much like Wanda. We have two of the most intelligent minds, the most powerful telepath, the most genius scientist, the King of Adelan, who can destroy you with a single word, Captain Marvel, the Sorcerer Supreme, although not here guarding with Professor X, and we have, oh god, what was the last person? Captain Britain. We don't want to hurt you. Release Wanda Maximov, Scarlet Witch, and return to your reality. And she's like, oh, and you're going to stop me? Wanda, don't try and fight us. Black Bolt can destroy you with a word. All he needs to do is open his mouth. He's like, and she just smiles. It's like, what mouth? And then Black Bolt just notices, his mouth is gone. And Wanda just twitches, and his head caves in and then explodes. Like, holy shit, this was some horror movie shit right here. And they all just look at him like, holy shit, she just killed one of us with a thought. Dude, how dare you, Wanda? And then she shreds, literally shreds Mr. Fantastic. Like, he's a stretchy rubber, you know? So she tries to stretch out to her. She grabs him and starts unraveling and shred. It looks like an invisible, he's being sucked down an invisible shredder. And then even to his head. Oh, man. Damn. Like, it is some brutal shit here. I'm not even gonna try and pretend it's not. Just, holy shit. Obviously, Captain Marvel, Maria Rambeau as Captain Marvel, she tries to fight her, and Captain Marvel is like this, easily to Wanda, second most powerful character in their roster. Both of them were infused by the Infinity Stone, so obviously they both have comparable levels of power, but the Scarlet Witch's magic proves too much for her. And eventually it's only left as Captain Britain, and she does Steve's famous line, it's like, give up. It's like, and she's like, I can do this all day. I can do this all day. No, she can't, because Wanda bisects her with her own shield. She throws at Wanda, and Wanda manages to catch her with magic, fling it back with full power, and literally cuts her in half. Holy shit. They went really far into the horror gore angle on this. Like, it's not like R-rated gory, but this is pretty intense for a Marvel movie, honestly. This is about as intense a Marvel movie as I think they will ever do. I don't think they're ever going to make anything gorier or scarier than this as a movie. And Doctor Strange is definitely one of those places where you want to go full horror, I think sometimes. Like, Wanda's powers are terrifying. Like, you really get the sense of, yes, we're running from her. Yeah, I'm a Sorcerer Supreme, but I'm not insane. And that is just impressive. Like, the shots in this, the camera is always zooming around, and when Wanda comes into play, it seems to get erratic. Like, the very universe is going mad around you. Like, even the camera's going a little insane just by being near her. She has this chaotic energy to her, which is just so good. You really just have to see it. The camera work is impressive. I mean, Sam Raimi has really good camera work. Really? The guy who did Spider-Man 1 and 2 knows how to direct well. Surprise, Davis. Surprise, Mr. Dragon. It's like, yeah, I know. It's obvious, but it still deserves to be praised. And you have to go do it. So, Strange and Chavez have to do this. They go through some other worlds. Another world, one where there was a collision event and only an evil version of Doctor Strange, consumed by the Darkhold, exists. Strange is decides to use the Darkhold, but only to possess a copy of his dead body, not a full body, so it's less corrupting, I guess. And he, basically conjures the spirits of the dead to fight with him. He manages to fight them off because it's like, curse, like, how dare you fight a dead body? Possess a dead body, Stephen Strange. I do like this, though. The spell doesn't instantly kill him. The spell gives him, like, a warning. It's like, cease your possession immediately, Strange, or we shall be forced to kill you. It's like, you know what? It's nice for evil cursed spirits to say, hey, we're giving you a warning here, buddy. You better stop what you're doing or we're going to be forced to devour your soul. It's like, what the hell? Since when do evil spirits have to give you a warning after you break a taboo? It's just weird. Like, I've never, like, you don't usually see that. Usually if you break a taboo, they're all like, alright, time for you to die now. They're like, now you may stop, or we will continue this. Like, there's some, like, parent, you're a misbehaving child. It's weird. Anyway, Strange fights Wanda with using the spirits as, like, a pseudo cloak of levitation, which is so cool. Like, I genuinely like it. It's this, like, twisted abomination of arms, spirit arms, and screaming faces that he's managed to control as this pseudo cloak of levitation. Him and Wong, who managed to survive all this as Wanda's prisoner, fight her, and eventually Chavez gains control of her powers after Strange gives her control. By the way, the zombie Strange in this movie is literally just the Strange possessing the opening Stranges from the other universe's dead corpse, which fell with Chavez. But Chavez gains control, and instead of trying to fight Wanda directly after a while, she gives her what she wants. She opens a portal to that reality with the Illuminati where her kids are alive, the one she wanted to go to. And guess what? her kids are freaking terrified and run to their actual mother, who, is their mother and is another version of her, so she would have to inflict the same pain onto either them or another version of herself in order to get what she wants. And it's sort of that thing where she had this plan in mind, but when she sees the reality of what that plan would be before she killed Chavez and could just, keep going to another world until she found acceptance, she went to one world that Chavez opened for her and immediately saw her own kids, who she loved more than anything else, looking at her like a monster, while the other version of her, literally a version of herself, stands in front of them and tries to shield them with her body. And it's just this moment of, what have I done? What have I been doing? Was it all for this? And it actually comes across as like she didn't think this through. She was obsessed with the idea of seeing her kids again. That's how the Darkhold lured her. And it preyed upon her not wanting to think about the details about it. She didn't want to think about the fact she might be able to murder herself. Now, personally, I think Chavez could have just opened a portal to a version of her reality where their mom had just died and Wanda could slip into her place. Yeah, it's iffy, but we've seen weirder stuff happen and then be portrayed as the hero, so at least she'd be happy. But instead, she realizes the full extent of her actions and decides that she's going to basically undo the prophecy. She takes the temple down with her and tells Strange to take Chavez and leave. They leave, they patch things up with the Illuminati, and, all's good. Oh, right, Charles died too. Charles Xavier. He tried to rescue Wanda, their universe's Wanda from the Scarlet Witch's possession, but the Scarlet Witch caught up to him before he did and, broke him. She is terrifying in this movie, genuinely. We also have the other universe version of Christine is in this section as well with the Illuminati. She's working for them and is one of the few non-superheroes who's been told the truth about Doctor Strange. That's part of the reason why she's very wary of them. Although, when they first arrest them and they're in these, like isolation chambers, they're like, what have you done? Why did you betray us? Mordo poisoned us and now you have us in a cage? Why are you doing all this, Christine? And she's like, actually, you're from another universe, and this is a precautionary measure we have for all extra-universal visitors. See, you could, potentially be emitting some form of radiation that we don't know about, because you're from another reality where the laws of physics might be different. Or, you might be carrying diseases we have no defense against. And so we have to isolate you until we can verify that you're not dangerous to us on a biological level. It's like, that has to be the first time I've ever seen that addressed in a multiverse thing. They don't usually address that. It's like, yeah, you might be carrying a disease that never existed in our universe. The common cold being a thing that almost wiped out Manhattan is a thing in Futurama. And that was just something that got wiped out via time. What about a disease that might not even have any close relation to any disease we have in this universe? Yeah, traveling in the multiverse could potentially be spreading smallpox blankets. What the hell? Biological warfare is way scarier with the multiverse. Holy shit, that's terrifying. Can you imagine the zombie pandemic? Ooh. It's yeah, no. You completely understand. Keep them in isolation, please. And then you think about Chavez, who's just been, hopping from universe to universe, and I wonder if she's, thought about, they didn't show her being horrified, but I'm just, with my personal headcanon that she was being oh shit, I could have died from a sneeze. It's yeah, the multiverse is really terrifying when you say it like that. But, yeah, that's basically everything. I know this is a bit ramshackle, but there's just so much to talk about, and I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Like I said, it's only an 8 out of 10 for me, because it's not a groundbreaking or anything, but it's a really fun movie, and I don't know, I love Marvel movies. I know that's a really basic thing to like, and I'm supposed to like all the weirder stuff, but you know what? I like mainstream themes in addition to weirder things. Yeah, I like the Book of Night and the Scalaman series. I'll praise Everything Everywhere All the Time. That is definitely going to be my movie of the year. Everything Everywhere All the Time. When it comes out on streaming, go see it immediately. I wish I'd seen it earlier so I could have done a review earlier, but I didn't. So now I'm going to delay the review for a few weeks, and I really, really want to talk about it because I keep bringing it up every time. But this is still a really fun movie, and I liked it. So, alright, moving on to the end credits. I was not able to finish up my Cruel King Great Hero because the boss fight, the final one, has been lasting, so I got wiped after 30 minutes the first time. And then I started it 45 minutes before I had to leave for the movie, thinking, okay, I'll have a little more time. I was probably near the end. I got more damage in than the first time, and I still wasn't finished at the 45-minute mark. It actually is currently still on my Switch. I haven't turned my Switch off, and it's just sitting there. on sleep mode in my charger. I'm going to take my Switch anyway because I want the battery to die. This fight is ridiculous. Like, this is the kind of fight that you could actually lose because your Switch's battery dies because it lasts so long. What the hell, creators of that game? I was having a very fun time, and then your difficulty just turned into a solid brick wall. Anyway, so that review is going to be coming out eventually. Coming up after this, we have the Book of Night review, and then after that is going to be the Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once. The next week we're going to be having Moon Knight and The Cruel King, the Great Hero after that. And so look forward to that in the future. Just a little update to my schedule. If you like, you can check our newsletter for May. I did that. Something I'm going to be doing each month. I'm going to give you a little details of some of my upcoming things. You know, the big things I'm really interested in seeing, and a few of the smaller things, just to keep you up to date with the big releases are. So, yeah. You can find all of that on my pod page site. I fixed the minor old problem with that stupid link showing up and ruining everything. So, yeah, check it out. See you guys next time. Bye. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and thank you for listening to The Dragon's Library. Please subscribe to this podcast to be notified of new episodes. The Dragon's Library releases new episodes Tuesday and Friday each week, and you can follow us on Twitter at dragon_library2. If you want to suggest an episode topic, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for all your support.